Well, a warm welcome here in St. John, New Brunswick, Canada. A look at the St. John Harbor as the Bay of Fundy comes in. Some herring gulls watching out. See that tugboat coming into the harbor here on a March afternoon in beautiful St. John. You see people milling around as the start of spring, hopefully some snow melting, and heading down to Harbor Station for Draw 4 of the 2014 Ford World Women's Curling Championship. And a full slate of games here inside this afternoon. So the teams that will be set to show you is Team Switzerland, Benia Felcher against CHN-SUI, and Team China here in session 4. Team Switzerland will be honored here as they honor one team a draw throughout the event for getting to the World Championship level. Oh, and now a chance to meet the teams here. For this one, the lead, Jinli Liu. Second, Ray Wang. The third for Team China, Yi Liang Yang. So they changed their lineup. Yang just getting into town, and their skip, CHN-SUI, looking for their first win, will take on Switzerland. Their lead, Christine Jurek. Their second, Franziska Kaufmann. Their third, Irene Shorey. And the skip, Benia Felcher. Team from Flims, Switzerland. Sit at 1-0 coming in. Let's look at those standings. Canada and Sweden have this, or Canada has this draw off. They're at 2-0 along with Sweden, Switzerland, and the US. Of the 4 unbeaten teams, Denmark and Korea there, and Latvia, Russia, all 1-1. China, Germany, Czech Republic, and Scotland, all looking for their first win here at the World Championship. Well, the customary handshake prior to the game. Luke Coley joined with Richard Harding as we look at the other matches here in Draw 4. Sweden at 2-0 taking on Russia, 2 Olympic teams there. 2-0 against 1-1. While we're on Sheet B, Sheet C is Germany taking on the USA. And on Sheet D, Korea taking on Latvia. And China, a very young team, Richard. They showed maybe a little bit of inexperience in their first game against the US. Now they get to take on Switzerland. And the Swiss looking to stay unbeaten.
That's right. And the Swiss team, there have been 2 or 3 Swiss teams in recent years. This one is one of them, but they, because the honours have been split quite a bit in Switzerland, they have not represented Switzerland that often. But they still know the procedure at a World Championship, so it won't faze them, and that could be the difference in this game, I think, between them and China. These Chinese girls are largely new to this.
Well, Felcher at the World Championship last time was 2010. They finished 10th. They went 3-8 that year, so they'll look to improve upon that. And I think they have a team that can do just that. Both one game into it. They're in a tough stretch in their schedule where they'll play 3 straight draws. So this afternoon, tonight, and then back on the ice again tomorrow morning. So we'll look for an important one as we head into the Draw 4. Richard, we were doing that, the high fives before the game to get ready for this one.
We were, but you couldn't reach. So
I have a high chair now as we get set here for first stone. It will be China with the hammer. And they'll have the red stones. Well, it'll be Switzerland with the yellow. And to get us going here in draw 4 is the 30-year-old lead, Christine Jurek.
And this arena at Harbour Station is nicely placed in the middle of St. John and is linked to all parts of the town through an indoor walkway system. And my goodness, did we need that the last day or two with the weather that they have been experiencing here. But today, beautiful blue skies. So
it was a gorgeous day out there, as you saw at the top of the show, and a little windy. I took the trek outside to see a little bit of the sunshine, but the wind was blowing around as the teams play here. Jinli Liu, early happy birthday as she celebrates her birthday today.
Just rolling out of the house. And Binya Felcher again indicating just to draw into the house. So a defensive type of start, really. A little bit reluctant to go on the attack from the top of the game, look.
Yeah, they're taking their waiting their time when they want to make a move. Really important, I think, for Switzerland in this game that they come out and have a good game from their front end. Christine played 49% in her first game, and they were able to win that one in a lopsided one yesterday, but will need to be much better if they want to try and make the playoffs and do as Miriam Ott did a couple years ago and win a world championship. Well, the hit, roll over to the side of the house. We are on sheet B, right to the middle of the ice. So, of course, the 4 sheets here at Harbour Station.
Franziska Kaufmann going for the takeout on this stone out on the wings, belonging to China. Playing on the out turn here, catching a small part of it, rolling back towards the middle again. This time right into the 1 foot. And we're just going to see an exchange of hits, I think, through this end. Ray Wang then, second player for China.
On this Chinese team, they're all full-time curlers. You see Ray Wang been playing just a few numbers a year now as a 19-year-old.
Well, she's the youngster in the team, although all of them are still young. Oldest 25, Jinli Liu, and
just see the rules of play there. 6 ends minimum, 73 minutes on their time clocks per team. They are allowed 1 coach. They will say a timeout, but it is an interaction. The clock will still run as the coach comes down when the coach gets out there to talk about the situation. Seeing the teams use that late in the game to help with a little bit of strategy. Switzerland just one of 4 teams without a loss, obviously just sitting at 1-0, along with the US, Sweden, and Canada. Canada has a bye in this draw, but US and Sweden are on the ice. Switzerland will play against Team Canada tonight. Ray Wang hits, rolls out of the ring, stays in play.
So first stone in the first end for Irene Shuri.
Well, Irene, a two-time world mixed doubles champion. Tony Mueller. Well, that one does go back 8 foot. Have seen a lot of draws early in games by teams going deep. They get their practice sessions and they come out and they play. I think it's a little quicker than what they expect. After the pebbles broken down just that little bit from practice. Yilun Yang, the third, actually just got in. Wasn't in St. John yesterday when they were playing their first game against the U.S. Now steps into the third position. Well, they hit roll out. Allows for free draw. A good chance for Yilun to be able to throw a draw, get a chance to get that feel. Missing that first game now. The intern draw in her first end of this World Championship. She was the alternate for the Chinese women's team at the Olympics in Sochi. Well, this one, a bit of a rocket, slides right through. But no harm, no foul. Was nothing else in the rings.
T-line. Met Bremst nog niet. 14,5. Nee, ik geloof het niet. Met de meespelen het dan nog. Ja.
Here's a look at the hog-to-hog time on Felcher's first stone without the hammer. That one is about 15 seconds, which is even faster than what we saw last night in draw 2. So good use of the sweepers there, just a light sweep to take that one to the top of the 12-foot, out to the wide side. Sedye Louis looked to make the hit. Maybe a little roll to the center.
Yeah, she won't be disappointed to change the line for the next shot of the last shot of Binja Felcher.
So the full-time curler, 25-year-old skip Sedye Louis.
Just playing a controlled weight here, not too heavy, to tap the stone out and lie in the circles herself.
A nice control weight, didn't overthrow it. Used the sweepers a little bit, gets it right on the nose.
Ja, een beetje hinein können wir noch, ha? Ja. Een beetje weiter. Ja, können wir.
So Binja Felcher's final stone, without the hammer here in this first end.
She just wants to hit it on the nose, I think, and lie out in the wing, making it as difficult as she can for China.
Yeah,
with
nose
their
hit.
last stone.
Sits half in the rings. Do you try and nose it, or do you just straight peel this one out, Richard?
Oh well, I think you just peel it out and hold the last stone advantage going into the second end.
打定都不带赢你，只要不打往里边甩就行。不能。我这扫冰，那又有点擦，还容易飘。我刚刚说这我这扫冰不能留赢你。9秒5，哇，等等，9秒5，底线啊，底线，丽姐。
Again, controlled weight here. She will hit the outside of this shot and roll off to the boards. So
Very nicely done. So retains the hammer. Team China will keep last stone heading to the second end here. No score in draw 4. China taking on Switzerland.
我不敢碰了，我感觉飘着一直，就不敢动。这边那边场地特别飘，这边掉的大。我给你那个点啊，给那么大，那边是直的，也是往上飘。哦，是开始，唐老师不说给这么大点弄吗？我给你的点小，但你第一个是滑小，第二个我给你一样的点。
So no score here. Back inside Harbor Station, Luke Coley with Richard Harding. China retains the hammer. No real surprise that first stone went in. A lot of hits. Do we see a little different strategy now from the teams?
well, you would like to think that somebody might mount an attack, but I don't know. I think both teams are preferring to play the game in the house, and of course that leads to a lot of hitting. When you play the game like that, of course, you're really waiting for the other team to make a mistake and make a miss. But generally at this level, there are very few misses, complete misses.
Oh, a hit, little roll to the side as we look over on sheet C. Germany, USA, and Megan Lehman for Team Germany looking for their first win. Looks like it has a hit here. Is able to get at that one. Try and get a single point. Taking on the US. Facing a couple, pardon me. Get to the nose. Well, kick that one over, but gets her single point. So Germany on the board.
And really, the Swiss, if they were going to try and mount some kind of attack, would have put the stones short of the house, try to use them as guards when they could before the chance to hit them away is presented. Lead stones, of course, can't be taken out of play by their opposition. Not until the fourth stone. Anyway, the game is in the house. We're past that stage, and it looks to me that they're both quite happy to just exchange hits.
Yeah, it surprises me a little bit that the Switzerland does put that first stone in, knowing China's going to hit. They're a very young team. Felcher definitely has the experience advantage. But when you look at the percentages, the way that Switzerland played in their first game, I'm trying to keep it a little simpler. As a team, Switzerland played just 68% in their win. They'll try to improve those numbers.
So that stone just rolling out of the rings and no more. Wei Wang asked to draw down that side so that if there's an attempted takeout, Swiss counter might catch it on the way out. Well, she will not quite freeze that shot, but she's close by it. Felcher just indicated to take it out and hope to retain the shooter in the house. Franziska Kaufmann.
Able to make the hit, gets rid of the backing, nothing really to freeze to anymore. It's just the one stone in play. Saw China in a couple of these scenarios yesterday against the States. Late in the end, decided to make a change and play the freeze. Here, they're still going to stick with the hit game. So not a lot going on between these two. Of course, draw 4. Getting a feel for it. China has to be happy they're able to play this type of game. You get your full lineup in for the first time today. Yilun Yang, 20-year-old third, steps in. Able to just ease herself back into the competition.
And that's the coaching expert. We know him as Tom Tan Weidong. So just rolling out this time. And Al Moore from Vancouver is the coach for the Swiss team. Lots of experience. So back into the house with this shot, and China will line up for another takeout.
And again, just playing a control weight, not overthrowing them.
They know that the stones will curl nicely. And they know just about how much curl there will be for the speed of the shot. So if they overthrow it a little bit and play it heavier.
Well, and getting a feel
That's
for
the only
these,
way they're going to miss it, really, I think. Yep.
getting a feel for these stones. They're new to competition here, and everyone trying to get a report on what each stone is going to do, and if there are a few straight stones or some ones that curl a little more than others.
So second end, first of the skipped stones here from Binja Felcher. Looking for a roll to a fresh spot here. She will roll into the middle. And again, we'll see an exchange of hits, I think, to the end here. And China hoping to hit and run with the very last stone of the end to retain the advantage of last stone.
She played very quiet hit weight in the first end to the wide side. We'll see what she throws right down the center of the ice. It's a bit more weight, and might be a little bit more than what she threw in the first end.
The stone pulling quite a bit. Well, she's got hit and just a small roll.
Well, Binja Felcher will head down. The Swiss skip. Experienced one at all kinds of levels. Has played World Championship. This is her third trip to the Worlds. Been a second at the Olympic Games in 2006, or pardon me, the Olympic Games, that was in 2006 in Torino, playing with Miriam Ott.
Yep, silver medal at those Olympics, which were played in the small town of Pinerolo, about 50 kilometers from Torino.
So top 12 foot, and now we'll look to hold on to the hammer. Head to the third end, a scoreless game. Well, again, just a quiet wait on these blank attempts. But you don't draw it down when you put it up on the scoreboard as zeros, and that's what it'll be. Another blank. China retain the hammer for the third straight end. Here, the Ford World Women's Curling Championship. No score, China, Switzerland. Surprise me if he did. Well, a wide look at Harbor Station, home of the junior hockey team, the St. John Sea Dogs, who have been taken out of their home for during the competition here as the Ford World Women's Curling Championship takes over. 4 curling sheets on top of the hockey ice. And China-Switzerland, our feature game. And Switzerland has put their first stone in both ends, and China has hit. Looks like the call was the centerline guard.
Let's hope so.
Get a few stones in play.
Yeah, well, this one's not enough to get in the house, which is good news for all concerned. It cannot be removed from play, can be moved around the area we're looking at there from just above the picture to the back of the house. You can move the stones about, but you can't take them out of play. So China this time indicating the draw behind. And they will want this to finish somewhere around the full 8 foot, top of the 4 foot circle, in front of the center line, the T line, as it's called in curling. At one time it was the T line with the way the lines were drawn. Now, of course, it's the center line all the way through. Well, she's a bit short there, and that gives an opportunity for Switzerland.
Let's look over at sheet A now. Sweden and Russia. Sweden trying to go to 3-0, and Maria Pritz, her first, ended up touching a guard, trying to make a play on that stone top 4 foot. Russia put another one in. They lie 1-2. In here, draw to the full 4 foot, 4 stone player. Try and get single point. So pressure draw early for Maria Pritz, trying to stay unbeaten in their 3rd game of the competition, their only game of the day. Oh, Bertrup, Weinerstrom trying to get it past that top one, and again will crash, and it is a steal of 2. So 2 for Russia. Stolen in the 2nd end.
And a little bit of an uncharacteristic miss from Pritz there. She didn't allow enough ice either, with it bumping onto the short stone.
Yeah, that stone shouldn't have come into play with that at all. You have lots of room to get to the button in that scoring zone. And our feature game was the come around, came up short by China. Switzerland went deep. Now an opportunity for Jinli Liu to go to the top of the 4 foot top button. Top button it goes. Good weight control there. It will be in the top part of the rings. Ideally, a couple rocks higher gives a little more of a scoring zone with the hammer, but have a few stones in play here.
Yeah, just by taking that stone as far as that, as you pointed out, it just narrows the total scoring zone. And China, of course, looking to try to score 2 or more. They have the last stone advantage here. And this stone of Kaufmann's, important that they follow it right into the house. Well, it's short. Now a chance for the Chinese to come round behind that one as well.
They could even tap their own if they needed to. They have some options. Probably don't want to play that too early in the end.
I was just going to say, you can do that, but I think I might leave that for a bit later on. Well, she's indicating the draw round that red stone of hers at the front of the house. If it curls a bit too much, she can tap it, but it's nicely positioned for later. If she can come around here, it's even better shot. And the Swiss stone in the back of the house is a catcher if she's a little bit heavy. So, youngest member of the Chinese team here, Wei Wang, It doesn't look as if it's travelling very quickly, but it just goes to show how fast the ice is. That it comes all the way to the back. Not just finishing there, look, just running a little bit straighter than you might expect right at the end. Well,
yeah, continued to slide, and it does stop in time to be second shot.
Yeah, only just. So Binya Felcher is indicating the raise on the red onto the other red stone belonging to China. And she's giving very little ice here. Well, it stopped. I don't think Irene Shuri is too happy with that. She's raced down to the other end to add her 2 cents worth. So Switzerland have a little bit of a dilemma because they are trying to steal a point here, or more of course, but one would change the dynamic of the game in their favour. I'm just contemplating a different shot, raising their own stone onto the red and clearing the front out.
Looking to see maybe. They could go yellow, yellow, try and run it. They could go the reds, nose that red, and I don't mind that call because when you make that double, you leave your shooter in a position you can use later in the end as well.
Well, that's what they should want to do because they are trying to steal. So they have got, China have got last stone advantage, so in theory they should want to play this game away from the centre of the house, really, and the Swiss should want it
well,
played
Franziska
in the centre of the house.
Is going to play that yellow run back. Basically saying, worst case, if I open it up, but they'll roll it over and overlap their yellow, so virtually taking it away any sort of tap back. Leave part of that stone top of the button open. China sees now they have a corner guard that they're looking at. Now look at this one. They're trying to go yellow onto that other yellow onto the shot stone. Thought they complicated a little bit more, trying to move 2 stones to get at that one as opposed to just a straight double. Two different options for China now.
Yeah, but the best one's the one she... No, I think the one she showed previously, which was just tapping the ice in front of that red stone of hers. If she could make that shot and get partly round the front stones, that would really be very favourable for China. I suppose she could come round the other way.
Well, they're going to head down and talk about this one. Lots of different discussion what they want to play. So, Richard, what you're talking about, playing on the left side of your screen, come right over top of the car in the ice, and then split the center line on top of the 8-foot.
Yeah, if you could get round behind, that would be a nice shot. In saying that, we are still early enough in the end that you might want to take the play away from the middle. The way the stone is lying on the button at the moment, if you leave the opportunity for that to be halved by the Swiss, then you take into play perhaps the back stone a little bit further away from the button, chance maybe to pick up 2 or 3 that way. So that's why drawing round the cornerstone is not such a silly idea, as long as she lay second or third shot. Need to finish fully in the white so it wouldn't be hidden, but it takes play possibly away from that centre one.
Well, the team discussion
it's not,
over.
Yeah, it's not particularly to China's advantage to have this play into the middle like this.
There are some outs from Switzerland, but I like keeping the pressure on because they have gotten mistakes from their opponent right now.
So Ray Wang having to sweep this hard to keep the line. If they can get round this front stone, it's a really nice shot. Well, it's not bad, but
protects their shot stone, but it isn't what ideally with now there is that straight back double they had with their last. You could go across and try and get them all, but I think right now you knows that you're in a good position for Switzerland.
Yeah, you are, because you can then tap and you've got the center of the house closed off to China if you can remove it, their stone from there. So not playing too much weight at this. Irene Shori, her first stone here in the third end.
And just a little out, jams on it. Still leaves China lying two.
Yeah. That was always the danger, to jam it straight on.
So where that shooter went for Irene Shori, should it change the shot call from China now? Same thing they were just playing on their last?
Well, I think they're trying to come through that little gap and just be half round the front stone, biting the center line. And that would stop the direct route to their shot on the blue 4-foot circle. Just holding high at the moment, hoping to get the tap off this yellow shot and roll. Oh, that's not a good stone.
Taps it in and now just lies one with their stone out in front.
Well, the earlier shot of Ray Wang's held on that line, and it might just be a little straight piece of ice down there on that out turn, because the same thing happened with that one.
We've seen that a couple times, and where the shooter went to now leaves an opportunity, a narrow port to get through. And those stones in the back 12-foot, doesn't matter if it catches on those, just get in, get shot stone.
Well, it's quite a narrow gap, or as we say in Scottish, port to get through.
Well, through, now make the roll.
Well, good shot from Shori. Nice roll.
Enough of that yellow available, I think, to make a double. Switzerland seems happy with that. He gets through the ports, and look at that one curl across center, and rolls and actually catches their own. Not a very big gap you would see from that previous shot to get through. Here we see it again, getting a roll just in behind. Makes it tougher for China. And looking from the skips, looking from the player's end, you can't see any of that yellow stone looking from the center line towards it. So really tough shot now for China. Need to be careful of this one. Looked like a solid release. Well, trying to make this double, but will open up 4-foot for Switzerland. As it spills that one off, and it will remain shot stone on the side of the 8-foot.
Pretty good shot though, in the circumstances. Quite difficult. She removed the one closer to the middle, and the second shot that she got some action on is now visible. The shot stone is visible from the playing end. So Switzerland lie one, but open. Felcher. This is the first of the skip stones here in the third end. No score to date. But both teams have had a bit of a go at trying to make something of this.
Yeah, great chance to get into the forefoot in a steal position. After rolling away, got the little mistake from China, and now trying to take advantage. Go top forefoot.
Well, this is a new line in the game. We haven't really played the in-turn down this line, which is what Binya Felcher is doing. They should know it from the practice before, but it's one thing in the practice, it's another when it comes to actually playing the shot. And this one
Line
just,
was good, just
a fraction heavy. The problem with that is that, of course, it allows China just to follow that stone down. They took quite a bit of ice there. Shot curled a good 4 feet, perhaps 5 feet from the outside in towards the middle.
So it is Switzerland lying 2. Looking to see if they can hit and roll in front of that one as opposed to play the draw.
Well, the brave shot would be the draw down the left-hand side over the down the left as we look at it there, to draw in behind and just come up to that stone in the back of the house. But instead, I think China are looking to hit and roll off this shot of Switzerland that they can see. So first stone for the skip of the Chinese team here in the third end. And we've seen mostly pretty controlled takeout weights. I think there's just a slightly floaty bit of ice down here where the stone doesn't curl as much as you think it will. This is a good shot though. Well, it was nicely played, but it's just in the open spot.
But was able to get shot stone, and that's important because now you force Switzerland to come after it, get a mistake, and you have an opportunity for your deuce.
Well, good hit and roll. Challenging Binya Felcher to come through that gap and tap the stone out. Roller shooter in behind the 2 yellow stones, which are guarding the front of the house. So good play from China there, because if Binya Felcher does not get through this gap, catches, then it'll almost certainly be a draw for 2 or a tap back for 3 for China. 2 stones to go then here in the third end.
So first, navigate the port.
Well, it's curling. Sweeping to make sure it passes the red stone on the left as we look at it. Is she passed? Oh, she is. Good shot from Felcher.
And the jam on the back doesn't mean much. First and second for Switzerland. Very nice from Felcher. Now China's got to follow that same path to Sedye-Louis and hit, stick, get her 1.
Sweeping like mad to get past this stone on the right. Well, you could see how much it was curling. Good sweeping. Nice result for Switzerland. And
so Bruman about the same spot now for China, and we've seen in a game in a couple ends, they take a little bit more ice than some other teams where they release, and this is about the same spot. So
I don't think that's just as much ice as the Swiss took. I think they took a little bit more than that. So she'll either have to play more weight. If she doesn't play more weight, and she hasn't done up to this point, then she's in big danger of catching her own stone at the front here. I think they need more ice than that.
So final stone, third end, Sedye-Louis.
This is definitely... Well, she has played quite big weight. Is it going to get through? Yes, it is.
Through the hole, does it sit around? And it does. So we'll catch the side of the button. Nice hit through the port. Our first score of the game. Sedye-Louis makes the hit, gets 1. China 1-0 over Switzerland.
了一下子。
是我往上掰的，我有点下去了，然后我往上稍微掰了一下。
真尴尬，跟你。
Look at that last shot again. CHN-SUI, a Chinese skip. Has to come through that narrow port and hit and stick. And that is our first score of this game. It took to the third end to see a score put up. It was a single by the Chinese side.
So China just ahead, 1 point to 0. And that means they will start the fourth end. The last stone advantage now going to the Swiss team.
Well, we'll see the strategy of what China does if they look to put one in, and then what Switzerland bounces back, or if they put the center line guard up. Try and force Switzerland's hand. All 4 sheets in play here as we wait to go ahead for the fourth end. Jinli Liu.
So sweeping the stone. They would like it as close as possible to the rings, but preferably not in the rings. Well, I would like it like that, but it looks like they're quite happy to have it in the house. Christine Urech. Just with 1 game behind her. Poor play at 49% for lead.
The surprising thing is seeing that number and seeing a lopsided win that they had yesterday. In their lone game, the numbers will start to come up for her, as one low game won't keep her at the bottom of the percentages throughout. It was a 10-4 win over Germany yesterday.
Well, it's all right if you can have a 10-4 win with the lead playing 49%. So second stone of the lead here for China. The stones just run on, and this one goes in the house as well.
Well, a chance to keep up to date after that steal of 2 by Russia in the previous end. I say it looks as though Russia is lying 1-2. And Maria Pritz forced to play the outturn draw to get a single point. Racked on a draw in the second end. Give up that steal of 2, and here having to go out, get a good piece of the 8-foot or better. The Olympic silver medalist, 4th stone thrower, is golden with that one right to the back of the button. Gets a single, so 2-1, Russia leading. Russia, both these teams, this is their lone game of the day, and Russia'd love to head in playing Canada and Sweden in 2 of their first 3 games, come out with a 2-1 record. They'd be pretty happy heading to an evening off. Another game, China and Switzerland. Both these teams battling it out and keeping things open. Switzerland, this is the first time they've had the hammer. Switzerland, just 3 women's world championship titles in their history. The last, of course, came with Mary Mott in 2012. It had been a long stretch before that for Switzerland, all the way to 1983 in Erika Mueller, and then in 1978, Gabi Casanova, the 3 Swiss Women's World Championship titles. See Ray Wang's number 69%. That was at the 3rd position yesterday against Team USA.
And China quite happy to just put these stones in the house. And really, the only response is to take them out. Move the play around in the house, which is what Binya Felcher is indicating, but it's hard to know what else to really do when China just throw the stones in. She could, I guess, just ignore it and put on a corner guard. Try to come around it. A little bit later in the end, hope to make a double or whatever to lie 2. She's happy to go along with this rather pedestrian strategy at the moment.
Just seems they're not wanting to get into a lot of messy situations. That first stone going into the rings, they decide, let's just keep it open. Maybe we get a mistake and get a deuce from a mistake. %, for Irene Shorey. She was a high player for her team yesterday. Well, just peel that one out.
So again, calling for the stone to be replaced back in the house.
Oh, nice weight there. We'll put that one right in top of the forefoot. Yilun Yang.
Well, Switzerland not taking them on at all here. And you could try and mix it up a little bit. It's not high risk early in the end. Look to either put a corner guard on or try and freeze the front of it or something other than just hit it out. Because China look to me as if they're going to be quite happy to do what they're doing all day long.
Well, they have that slight advantage, 1-0. They're getting to play these a few draws with the rollouts by Switzerland. Get a feel for draw weight, which will only help them and benefit them further on.
So skip stones here in the fourth end.
Cédric Louis in the 50s in their loss last night.
下边看实力啊，外侧，线要大，外侧，下点线，要插下线插，外侧，线路不太好啊，下线，八曲，下线，
Just drawing into the behind the tee line.
Yeah, they're hoping to maybe use that stone out of the rings as a little backing, but need to go a little bit, to get it a little wider to do that.
Felcher just going to take this out and lie with her first stone here in the fourth.
Yeah.
78% in their win yesterday.
So Binja Felcher from Flims in Switzerland.
This team from all over in Switzerland.
So Felcher makes the hit and stick. And we can have a quick look at Korea against Latvia in the third end. Korea drawing for 2 shots here.
Unchi Kim throwing 4th stones over there. Looking to get a second point, and skip Jisung Kim out to help. Need to get this one to the 4-foot. And all 3 of them working it hard, trying to get it to the 4-foot, but it will over curl, touch that yellow. Didn't have the weight to get there. And just a single for Korea, so 2-1. And that's over on sheet D.
Back here, China replacing the Swiss stone, and now Felcher will try and hit and run to retain the last stone advantage going on into end number 5.
Well, the final stone here looking to hit, roll out, keep it a 1-0 game. And hit, roll out, avoid touching that yellow. There it is. We'll see the 3rd blank of the game. This time Switzerland decides to blank the end. Will retain hammer, trailing 1-0 to China in draw 4 of the Ford World Women's Curling Championship.
Ja, bezahlt. Ja, was machen wir da?
Well, look at the last rock, the blank. They did have to worry about that stone just outside the rings, but hit, roll out. Binja Felcher is happy. High fives for that. as it remains a 1-0 game. A lot of zeros up there on the scoreboard, Richard.
Absolutely, and China again. Well, they're just pausing here because the time between the ends has to be exact before they start the next end. They were all set to go and stopped by one of the umpires. So
Trying to keep going.
now they can go. And it looks like it's another draw into the house here being called for. Oh well. Short stone, quite a bit short of the rings. And Felcher has no doubt what to do this time. Try and play the come around. And this direction saw the only real active end of play here, where we had some stones in play. So I think they know the ice pretty well going this way.
Well, I know it's early, but Switzerland got the hammer in the fourth end, thought they might try and start scoring in the even ends, and now they're going at it, obviously forced a little bit with the centerline guard in the even ends. You like to try and set yourself up so you're scoring in the eighth end, having the hammer in the 10th end. Or is it too early to look at that, Richard?
Well,
I stumped you.
It probably is a little early for that, but we'll see what happens here. We're going to get an end of play, I think, with the stone of Christine Urech just going too far behind the tee line there.
Well, that's an important stone now for China. They can weld one on, put it right on the button behind their centerline guard. Good position. Try and get a steal.
Oh, good looking line on this one. And it will draw nicely to the face of the Swiss stone and lie right on the pot lid. And we're just going to pop across to the next sheet, sheet C, Germany against the United States. And a chance here. US have got good looking end here. Important shot to make this hit onto the yellow US stone, and they fail, and it looks like US are going to pick up 3 here. They do. With the last stone of Una Lehmann.
It was an all or nothing shot. If end up catching that one, they get their single. Instead goes right through. Thought they might have played it quieter to try and tap that in and give them some room for error on it.
And the US have got a couple of wins already. They're looking in quite good shape. 2 years ago, the same skip from the United States started off with 5 straight losses and then went 6 straight wins. Just failed in the later stages, but they really got their game together as the week wore on in Lethbridge. This time they're starting from the get-go with some wins, and they look pretty good team.
Well, it's an important start. Anytime you get to a championship and you lose your first 5, it's disappointing. They definitely had a mindset, talking to Allison, that they wanted to come off and get off to a better start at this event. Yesterday, you get a very young, inexperienced Chinese team, and they took advantage of misses to get the lead. So that was a good start for the Americans, and China now playing this 5th end in a good position against Switzerland. Already leading 1-0. See another guard go out in front as they have that one on the button.
So trying to clear the front out to get at the stones in the button, but just missing the counter sitting there and only taking one stone away and leaving the shooter. So not a great shot there from the the Swiss.
I think it's early in the event, but they're going to need strong play from their front end if they're going to want to try and challenge for a playoff position, and they haven't got it in their first game or in this one so far.
No, front end from Switzerland not performing very strongly, I'm afraid. So a chance here for China to draw another stone round, because these two in front of the house are half checking each other now. So they can come right round and face the two shots on the button, and they do, and now they lie two.
That's a lovely shot, just right to the top of the button.
Fantastic play from China to get that stone lying right on top of the other one. Now that
just a whisker between those two.
So clearing the front off here, the name of the game for second player. And again jamming the shot, leaving it guarding these stones of China's.
Well, going to be another guard they're wanting to put up. Just tuck a little bit underneath.
Well, China have played strongly here, and this opportunity arose because that first yellow stone lying at the back of the blue 4-foot circle was too far and allowed China to come and draw right to it. And it's a costly error they are in the midst of experiencing at this stage, the Swiss. So another guard established.
At some point, Switzerland's going to need to make this double peel just to try and get access to those stones in the house, and it's not looking good. Well, as Switzerland figures out what to do, we'll look over sheet A, Sweden and Russia. And it is that Russian stone side of the button. Trying to get in there for a second point. Anna Sidorova had a rough start in her first game. Just didn't play well. She went from 66% in her first game to 92 in their win last night. Here trying to take that out, get a little roll. Will not move that back one. They needed to use that shot stone in order to move that back red out of there. It's a single point and a 3-1 lead.
Meantime, Switzerland have opened up the side of the house, allowing access, but I'm sure it will be, the guard will be replaced with this stone of Ray Wang's. Sorry, it's not Ray Wang.
Yilun Yang. Of course, Ray Wang was throwing third stones yesterday.
She's played her two here, so this guard now important to just cover the shots in. Well, nicely played again by China.
Well, the way those guards are angled, if they hit it perfectly, can they run it in, maybe get those stones in the 4-foot out? Or moving?
They have to be, if she's going to come at the, well, she's not going to do
a little speed
that.
wobble on the delivery for Irene Shori.
Just trying to clear the two Chinese stones out here.
Well, over the top, run it back. And that's an unfortunate result. Leaves them lying 3, but the center line is clear.
So here we go.
No, she's got to move some stones. And a little wobble. Recenters herself, and
actually her foot got caught in the hack at the back there just at the start of the delivery. She's lucky not to land on her nose.
all things considered, able to clear the front. China lying 3, put a guard up in a good position. They'll be quite happy.
A little bit unfortunate for the Swiss to just angle it in the direction to end up having 3 in a row like that, removing the back one of their own, of course, in the process. So this is an important shot to guard these 3 stones for China's young skip. Her first stone here in the 5th end. 3 more stones to go after this one, as you can see with the stone pointers on the top of the screen. 2 Swiss, 1 Chinese after this stone. And it's not bad, but
it's going to over curl a bit, leave that stone in the top of the forefoot.
Certainly allows access to these stones for.
If you throw it hard, you might be able to spin all those reds out with what they can see. Might spin that middle red out to the side. Could get a bit of a drag though.
I think it'll be quite difficult to remove more than 1, actually. The way the angle is on the back 2 stones here makes it very difficult for more than 1 stone to go out. However she hits that front one, and she can really only hit the right-hand side of it as we're looking at it, it's going to lock the middle one onto the back one and leave these 2 at the top there, still there at the end of the shot, almost no matter how she throws it. In my view. Does Canada have an alternative view?
Well, it depends how hard she can throw. That's the question. I think we'll have to throw this one hard. Depends how much they spin. We haven't got a good view of how lively the houses are. They haven't been just sliding out quite easily.
I think they're quite lively. Oh my goodness.
Felcher trying to settle herself on her delivery. And now see what happens. Get by the guard, spin, get that top one moving.
Well, she only caught really a quarter of that shot. She had to hit the high side to have any chance of moving more than 1, and you could see even at that speed that she did leave the other 2 lying.
Thought they'd all get going, just needed to make sure she moved them out of the forefoot. It's as good as removing them from play, because now it opens up things and there's just going to be 1 behind that centerline guard if China can make that perfect come around.
So you see the movement on the stones from that angle, moving them across. That was really as good as she could get, I think. So last stone for China, 1 more stone to go here. And this time the draw behind the center guard is the shot she's going for.
Well, just biting top of the button would be ideal. Needs to finish at the end. Comes down. Very nice, right to the top of the button. Finishes nicely. And lying 3. So Switzerland will have to move that one.
Well, that was a very nice shot. And this is a difficult shot for Felcher. She's facing 3 Chinese stones. She has to follow the line down just past that guard by next to nothing and tap the red one on the button back about half a meter at the most. 2 feet.
Well, this is one you almost just have to throw draw weight at, let the sweepers take it and try and push it back. Facing 3, trailing 1-0 in the game. Nia Felcher, her final shot.
So a really important shot for Switzerland here. She's got pretty good weight at this. Lots of handle on it. That usually means it holds it a little bit straighter. Just rotating quite a lot. Is it going to come in and tap it back far enough?
That is the question, and it will not. They come down to it. Needed to curl more to tap that one back. A steal of 1. As we head to the fifth end break now, it is 2-0. China leading.
哎，今天终于打上，上去打了，给他摔咋了？炒肉啊？谁炒的？我那个站位那个，他刚好像顶。
So China
没了。
taking the lead in this game. And I think a little summary is that the Chinese front end are outplaying the Swiss front end by quite a bit. Too many mistakes from the lead in second from Switzerland. That's where the main difference is in the teams, I think. So they will have a little break, talk to the coach, get their instructions, and we're going to have a look at the highlights here. So the third end was big end, 0-0 before Binja Felcher came to play. She has to make this shot. So, advantage Switzerland. And now with the last stone of the end, China have to follow the line through that narrow port. And they do. Pick up the first point of the game for a 1-0 advantage. And now in the fifth end, Felcher having to draw against 3, tap back. The Chinese stone to pick up 1 point and tie the game, but she's a little bit wide. Doesn't get the draw at the end, taps China across to leave them still lying 1 and give the Chinese team a 2-0 advantage after 5 ends of play. Now we have an update across the ice on sheet D, where Korea are taking on Latvia. Korea leading 2-1. Last stone for Latvian skip Ridja.
Well, they got off to a nice start, able to knock off Scotland in their first game here of the competition. Always nice to get that first win early and against the country that's the reigning world champion nation, but unable to get a point there and gives up the steal.
And Korea picking up another shot there to lead 3-1. They are still playing in the fifth end, so 3-1 they lead. 4-1 US dominating Germany, and the Russians just edging ahead of the recent silver medalists from Sweden on sheet A. So Tom will be happy with his team at this stage. Chinese just settling down after their first game, which they lost. Playing quite nicely here, but very defensively.
Hij is warm. Ja, het is een paar pesten. Het is pesten. Peter staat normaal. Oei, ja. Bij de warmhouders. Ja, ja.
And there are the statistics after 5 ends. China 90%, Switzerland 79%.
Draws in favor of Switzerland, but the hits in favor of China. A lot of those, some of the hit and sticks where Switzerland rolled out.
Sorry, 81% to 79%. My mistake. It was the hits that were ahead for the Chinese, as you pointed out. So there's not a great deal in it, but as I said, I think the difference is at the front end of the team from the Swiss team. They need to tighten up and make more shots.
I think they need to force the... Obviously, you have the hammer now coming out of the break. Makes a... try and get your deuce, but put a score up there. Even if you get your 1, you're down 2-1. And force China's hand with the hammer. They didn't really do that very much.
Yeah, not at all. In fact, they went along with the defense strategy. I certainly agree with you. They've got to try and force the action. Now that they're 2-0 down, I think we will see a bit more of that. Problem is, if they don't improve in the actual shot play, they'll just be liable to lose more shots. So they have to play better as well. That last end steal was set up because Switzerland's lead put her stone behind the tee line and allowed the Chinese to follow in, and it all stemmed from that, really. Took good play from Felcher to narrow it down to a 1-point loss. So
yeah, she made her the takeout on her first, able to spill them out of the forefoot, and was close on her last, but not quite enough. See, 83% for Jurek. Will need to improve those even more, especially with the draws.
So this is another loose shot that's going to go into the house, and that's really not good because China can now just hit it. They had to put the corner guard on there, and it's absolutely no use in the front of the house for Switzerland. In fact, it's a shot for China. It's not just not making the shot, it's making a shot for the opposition.
Jinli Liu, nice little birthday present, playing 90%. Well, we'll peel that one out.
Well, small error there. They could have forced the play even more to Switzerland if they'd stuck in the house.
Put in a position where it was a half shot, but it doesn't hurt them. Whereas the guard sliding in by Switzerland hurts them now to try and score here in this end.
So Binya Felcher requesting Urech to play another corner guard, this time less weight required. The sweepers are holding off here too. The ice is fast, mind you. We got an early time on it at 15 seconds between the two hog lines. That's really keen stuff.
Yeah, tough to slow yourself down out of the hack to throw even less than that. And now this into second zones, they can peel that guard and even roll into the rings to lie 2, try and get a force out of the end.
Be interesting to see if the speed has changed very much off the rock clock.
70% for Ray Wang.
So she halves that one and rolls across. And I think the Chinese are fairly happy not even to put 2 stones in the house, which is fairly defensive, really.
And they can play that way if they want. They have the 2-0 lead. It's Switzerland that may have to take some chances, especially if they're not able to get those guards set up early in the ends.
So Kaufmann this time being asked to put on the corner guard, but on the other side of the sheet from Urech. And she's got the good weight to do that, just about 6 feet short of the house. China will try and remove this, and the shooter, Ray Wang.
Well, they want to make sure they get that one out. They don't want to leave any guards out. Draw behind. We'll see at corner guard. They keep going back and forth, forcing China to peel in different spots.
So Kaufmann, our second stone here in the 6th end, and we're going to see what the speed is. Be a slightly different speed because she's just being asked for the guard. So it's designed to...
Could probably be around even 16, 17 seconds.
Yep, even more, 18.
That is very quick ice. So 18-1 to go as a halfway guard.
Yep.
Probably see a draw. 15, even 15-2 probably could go to T-line.
Yeah, I think it's, if anything, sped up just a little fraction from the beginning.
Yilun Yang will get that one, peel that guard off.
Well, they've been good at that in this end. The Chinese made every one of these shots, really.
And all smiles there for Yang. Well deserved for... It's the alternate on a couple occasions for Bing Yuang and team at the Olympics, at the World Juniors. Played with Tsedye Louis.
And Switzerland are not able to capitalize at all here on anything because they're just not making their shots, or the earliest shots. And lead goes back to the lead player. In the old days before the free guard zone, the lead player was not so important, but now the lead player sets up the whole end more and more.
And you see a little extra rotation. They were cleaning that spot almost like something was under it right away. So you try to get a little bit more rotation to try and maybe dislodge whatever is underneath the stone. Nonetheless, with that one coming to rest, it'll be another peel. Well, Felcher trying to generate some offense, needed a miss in order to use those guards, and we'll see the, gonna try and freeze to that one top of the house.
So Irene Shuri once more, third player for Switzerland from Zurich. Well, not quite.
No, it's wide open. They can, now I think if you're China, you want to hit and stick, because then you can get a force out of the end and get the hammer back.
I think so. If you can hit this and just roll to the wing. We're on to the skip stones here. First stone for the Chinese skip in the sixth end. Tsedye Liu, 93%.
Just made the shots when needed.
Strong play.
Had a difficult shot to get her one in the third end. Was able to make that.
Well, quite a nice shot. She would have liked it to roll maybe just a fraction more, but not bad.
Jump over and look at all the Russian stones in the house there. Looks like lying 4, maybe 5 for Maria Pritz, but does have an opening to get in there and get her one.
And it has to be said, the Russian team at their best are really good, but they tend to blow hot and cold a bit. Sometimes they're really good, other times they're not quite so good.
Well, and this one trying to come down, use the backing. And will they sit in time? I think if they kick it away, it is one for Sweden. Maria Pritz gets her team within 1 through 5 ends over on sheet A. So those two teams that represented their country at the Olympics in Sochi, and now here at the World Championship as well.
And both of them, I think, expected to be in the final stages of this event at the end of next week, next weekend.
Good numbers for Benia Felcher, 93% as well. Hasn't been left as in as good a position as her counterpart. 2-0 game, and there will hit and roll out. I think was trying to make the double to avoid having to take one.
She had to catch it very, very thin to get the chance of the double.
Well, this is what she's looking for.
Yes.
Would have to have had that curl up more and throw a lot of weight to try and jump it over to push that one out.
Yeah, she would have had to play Nicholas Edin weight for that one, I think.
And unfortunately, you can't call the bullpen to have one come in and throw that hit.
Yeah, I think that double was not on for a lot of people.
Don't know if anyone in the field here would have been able to make that double.
So China now just looking to replace that shot.
Well, right down to the button. Good draw weight from Sedia Louis. She's had a good game. There hasn't been a lot of take away the third end where she made that nice hit through the port. Hasn't had a lot of difficult shots to make.
And this is pretty much forcing Benia Felcher to take 1 point. Of course, Switzerland looking either to have a steal in this end or to pick up 2. So just getting 1 and losing the advantage of the last stone, or losing the hammer, as we say, is not really what she wanted here. Tightens the score to 2-1, but they were looking to get 2 or blank. So China succeeded in forcing the play to Felcher, and she will indeed pick up the point here, hitting on the nose for 1 point.
So right on the beak, Switzerland is on the board. It took the 6th end for them to score. They get only 1. 2-1. They will need to try and a little more aggressive without the hammer heading to the 7th end.
哎呀妈呀！谁鞋烫这个菜？
选一个也行，选好了然后咱再清呗。选你，然后就清球呗。
Well, right next to us on sheet C, it's Germany taking on the United States. And those Yellowstones belong out there to the U.S., meaning Imogen Una Lehmann will have to draw for a single point. They're trailing, coming in after giving up the steal of 3. It's in the 4th end, a blank 5th, and Germany with the hammer looking to get in. Lots of rings to work with. Lehmann able to get in to the forefoot, to the button, gets 1. Still the U.S. with a lead and now hammer after 6 ends of play. I think the U.S. coming in, looking at their schedule, the way it's shaped up, they had to be happy with. They got some very young, inexperienced teams to start things off. It's not where they go and face the contenders, Canada, Sweden, those 2 teams right away. I think it sets up well for the U.S. They'll play Denmark tonight, and they're also in a stretch of 3 straight games. Their big test will be tomorrow morning. They'll get Sweden.
Saying that, U.S. are also in 2nd spot in the rankings in percentage terms, so they've come in with some confidence, I think, and it's interesting how they got here, because they didn't win their national championships.
The U.S. did change the format of how they determined who to represent them. Went to a point system based on the year, and Alison Pottinger, once she qualified for the playoffs, knew she was coming to St. John, but actually lost to Nina Spatola in the championship game. Here, our feature game, China-Switzerland. 2-1, China leading. Switzerland put up that center line guard. Now this looking to be top part of the house for Liu.
And tactically, would you have done that? Would you not have put a stone to the wing, perhaps?
I've always been one like to draw behind that center line guard. Draw to the wing. You give Switzerland the first chance to get into a scoring or a steal position.
Well, but you know how they've been playing. Especially at lead, I think.
Well, and not a good sign seeing the sweepers just walking with this one, trying to play the freeze.
It looks a little wide and firm, and it is. Just rolls off to lie into the open.
Christine Jurek hasn't been the world the start to her first couple games that she wanted to. Played a tough game in their first game win. This is her first World Championship. Played in a World Juniors back in 2004. Looking for the hit, little roll to the center. Very nice. Jinli Liu able to make the roll, top button.
Again, China piling on the pressure at lead. Thoroughly outplaying Switzerland. So second player, Franziska Kaufmann.
We'll need to try and force the issue, try and get a force in the end. Right now, China set up well. Still lots of stones to come in this end. Well, little tap as they try and use that center line guard. 2-1 lead. China peel the center line guard.
Yes, I think so. It's not in China's interest to have cover in the center of the playing area. Short stones in play in the middle. Definitely not to their advantage. Opening up the forefoot, that's what she's wanting to do. And this is the first opportunity with the lead stones completed. So just clearing this off and running the shooter.
Yeah, right now, just wanting to open things out, like the way they are set up in the lying shot stone. Not want to get into any trouble.
Binya Felcher will now try to replace that stone, and it's important to get the line just perfect here. She needs to guard against, as much as possible, against an attack on these stones in the forefoot circle by the Chinese.
Oh, center line guard.
Well, Felcher likes it, and it's certainly enough to get China not even to consider anything on the stones in the forefoot circle and go for taking off the guard.
Well, trying to peel the guard, just touches it over.
Well, it's the first mistake they've really made, taking any of the guards away.
But they were fortunate. move it far enough that it's not on the center line.
It's probably not going to come into play in the remaining part of this end, I don't think.
Probably is a safe word, because as soon as you say it won't be, it'll try and play an angle raise or redirect off of it. Right now, Switzerland.
This one's definitely wider. And it's in the house. Well, big chance here for the Chinese to raise that front stone. We'll have a look at it in a moment. Raise the front stone on, remove both the yellows and leave the shooter lying at the front to lie 3. If she hits that right in the nose, she'll catch about a quarter of the second yellow stone, maybe a little bit less than that, and fly it across in front of the 2 reds, leaving them there, and her shooter will remain as well. So, big chance here for China. And even a shot like this, they're not playing very heavy weight at. This one needs to curl, needing to swing. Well.
That was the worry in playing that. The wrist end up pushing that one over.
It just had to curl another, I don't know, inch perhaps to catch it perfectly.
Yeah, curl a little more, it's perfect. Instead, now Switzerland has a good position, or a better position, I should say.
A fraction more, she catches the inside edge of that second yellow stone. They both go away, and China would be lying 3, but instead of that, she jams it onto the back one. And China still lie first shot here, but Switzerland have a chance to remove it. A raise on their own yellow. You can just listen to what they're saying.
Ja, aber wenn ich Teig komme und da ein bisschen rausrollen, dann ist einfach offen komplett und wahrscheinlich sogar doppeloffen, oder?
So you can get 2 perspectives on this. Clever work from our camera crew here to give us all of this at the same time.
They work magic down there.
Ja, ist auch gut. Das ist super. Das ist super.
Well, it gives a good look. The angles are trying to set up. I think you get rid of shot stone, try and roll the shooter a little bit away, or even nose isn't bad to lie 3.
That's right. I think that's definitely the shot. Hit the front yellow onto the red, and you will be lying 3, probably all in a, almost all in a row. Oh, she's not playing much weight at this. Trying to get control of the line by not playing too heavy. And I think perhaps they should have been sweeping sooner, but we'll see if she's going to get the right angle on it.
Just trying to tap, push that one back. Played quiet weight to leave that one around, so it makes removing them a little more difficult. But can you get 2 nose double?
Well, it was quite a nice shot, but of course the back stone still lying in 3rd spot, belonging to China. Sufficiently early, I think, with 5 stones remaining, not to be too concerned about that, because the Chinese have got to have a go at these yellows, but they can certainly remove 2 this time. Not giving much ice there. You can see that the brush is placed just on top of the yellow stone, and she just asked for a little bit more. That was very tight ice that she was being given. So they're not expecting much curl at this weight. Look.
No, throwing it basically almost where they want to hit it. I'll try and make the double. And actually gets all 3 of them moving and gets shot stone out of it.
Well,
the double was the call. The 3rd one moving was a bonus.
That was a nice result for China.
Most importantly that, where their shooter sits in the top of the 8-foot that they can use, even if this is a freeze made, There's a shot back for China.
So just looking at the curl on the end turn there, we'll get another look at this. Just getting the angle to bump the second one across the front, and it got some movement off the third of these yellow stones as well.
Yeah, they're close. They held it enough. If it curled a hair more, they might have moved that one all the way out, that third one.
Just enough to leave them lying shot. That was a bonus.
We'll have to be happy with that shot. Yilun Yang. This all or nothing now, getting a position they're trying to force the issue. Yeah, Felcher needs the in-turn draw to the forefoot.
She does, but this is a well-worn path. They know this line. Should be able to make this shot okay. Just need to watch the weight. Again, she's playing a lot of handle, so not getting just as much curl on it as some of the others, but it's a nice shot.
They needed to come down to that one because of the worry of the raise. Question is, do you play the raise now, or do you have other options like the draw?
So 3 stones remain here, 2 for China, who have the last stone advantage here in the 7th end.
I think I like the red they're looking at right now, because there is a chance you hit it perfectly, you could get both yellows, but ideally you just want to go on to shot stone.
And I think the other positive move with that would be to open that side of the house a little bit more, potentially for the last stone. The danger for China still are these 2 stones at the front of the house. They can be used, but they're also, you know, possibly guards for Switzerland to draw behind, as we just saw there from Felcher. I think the shot's just the tap up and live first shot in the 4-foot circle for China.
Well, with the broom going down there, it looks like they're throwing some weight at it. And not just a straight tap, trying to play weight and move one of those yellows out.
Well, I could understand that. Ah, look.
See the coach looking in and marking all the shots down, what he thinks of this scenario.
I can understand that, because if you do play a bit more weight and remove a yellow stone out of play, you're certainly reducing the chances of Switzerland picking up more than one. I think they need to sweep this one for the line.
Well, try and go right back, and they'll catch their own. They spin it back up to get shot stone. I think they are shot. But it is right in between. They need to hold it just a hair more, and they would have got both the yellows.
Well, having watched this game right from the off, any little rub and roll has gone China's way every time.
Well, they had a big pocket to hit it into.
They did, yeah.
I'll watch this one. It got on a little earlier. They might have missed the line call just a little bit to catch that top yellow. As they go directly to their red, catch the yellow, and then sort of actually come back up in the rings.
They did miscall that. They had to catch something yellow, not the red one really, but they are still lying for shot in the back here. And there's a danger, bit of a danger here for Switzerland. I think not too much, because there are 2 Swiss stones in there, but she doesn't want to leave the chance for the Chinese to come at the back too. She's got to make something out of this shot and make it lie first shot, really. Probably the draw around on the outside.
Problem is to try and come down, play through the hole, and play the hit on it, which you look at, you think initially is, well, even if you jam on that back one, and you might leave a double and a chance for 3,
yep.
Here you have a chance you can use those as backing, draw around, try and get a steal out of it.
That would be nice to do that, but from the overhead you can see the width of the stones and how little space there is to get between there. And saying that, this is exactly the same spot as the third end where we came through. a narrow port just like that. 2 or 3 times they came through the line, but it's not much space.
So they're going to use their one timeout right now. Talk this one over of what they want to play. That's a pivotal point of the game. 2-1 the score. China leading, has the hammer. As Al Moore will make his way out.
Ja, in meine Nummer haben die bis jetzt noch nie Druck gemacht. Dann hätten sie das erste Mal Druck und muss wirklich keiner legen. Ja, es geht, 2 hinter der Ziel, muss einfach irgendwo reinspielen. Ja,
We'll see how good his Swiss German is.
Aber es ist genau die gleiche Ding, wie wir vorhin schon gespielt haben, oder? Mit diesen
Ja, ich würde glaube ich dann so spielen.
It doesn't. The port looks wider from this shot than it does from the overhead. When you look at it from above, it doesn't look wide at all. But still, that's the call to come through there and take the red out.
Or just to the top of the forefoot so it's shot. That way if she hits it, it hits at this angle or through the hole. Which one do you like?
He likes the hit.
Are you've played this spot before, so I think you know the ice. Both are good shots.
Je werden aber von dieser Seite spielen, from
You have-
inside.
Whichever way you know the best.
I like to line with 3 and a little pressure on her.
Yeah. I like it too. So if you're comfortable with the hole, what speed are you going to throw?
So, back line.
Back line? Okay. Hack, let's play hack. I think hack with better control. Okay.
Wenn wir das nur streichen, dann wäre es nicht da nachher schon.
Well, I've seen it move in this spot. We're talking about playing backline weight, so just through the rings to lie 3. That's what they wanted. What they wanted to achieve with the shot. Al says, I think let's throw hack. We can control it a little bit better.
It was interesting how they reached that conclusion because the coach gave them the 2 options. He didn't make the decision. And then when Binya said, I like that, he said, oh yes, I like it too. Well, of course he would like it too, especially if she makes it. Who wouldn't like it? But he didn't
She had
make the
good
decision.
reasoning. He came out and gave what he was thinking, the options.
Yeah. I think she knew that
Felcher
without
does
him.
have to throw the stone, so it's a little different. And
I think she knew that without him telling her, but anyway. Here we go. This is it. Big shot for Switzerland here in the 7th. To be careful, the stones curl quite a bit at the end.
well, they want to control it with the sweep. They're through the hole, make the hit,
Oh, great
and
shot.
lie 3.
And as Binya said, she wants to transfer the pressure to China and lie 3 shots, and that's exactly what she has now done. So,
Well, smiles around there. And needed that one. And right perfectly through the hole. Avoid the jam.
nice little roll in behind there. And just the roll across and behind the guards to leave Switzerland lying 3, and this came from nothing. Suddenly they lie 3.
So
Now I think this is really the first time that the young Chinese skip has had big pressure on her.
Sedia Louis, final stone
If
here of the
if
7th end.
Yeah, if she gets tangled up in the front here and gets the wrong line and doesn't get through this little port, then she could be losing 3. Very important to get between the gap.
Well, big scrub, get it through the hole. Now have enough weight, come down to it, use the backing.
Beautiful shot.
Good clutch shot from the young 25-year-old skip of Team China to extend her lead to 3-1 over Switzerland through 7 ends.
And Tom just explaining to the alternate player what was going on. That was a great shot from China there. Now we can see it once more. The draw to the button. Line all important here. She had backing to come to, so she could afford to have a little bit of weight on it, but she had to get the perfect line, and she did.
Well, all smiles, a clutch shot, as she had in the third end, had to play through a tight port, get through it, play the draw, get an important score, because it was the sixth end yesterday where she gave up a steal of 3 to Team USA, missing a draw. Didn't do so there. Now on the eighth end, it'll be Switzerland with the hammer. Will try and get their deuce to try and tie things up. Get a deuce here, you're in a good position in the game. You have the hammer in the 8th and the 10th. If they score. So we will find out how teams will try and go about this 8th end of play.
So we're off and running. End number 8, 3-1 China with the advantage over Switzerland. And Binya Felcher from Flims has the last stone advantage here in the 8th. They'll be really desperate to pick up 2 here if they can. The Chinese have conducted a very defensive strategy, and Switzerland have really only once looked like picking up more than 1, possibly in the last end there if the Chinese didn't make their last stone. But other than that, hasn't really looked like picking up 2 shots all the way through this game. And China happy to play the game in the house now. Binya Felcher must get guards out of her lead player. Absolutely vital.
And not just guards, but guards in a good position. And you don't want them just over the hog line. We've seen the amount of movement. They can be accessed then in the rings if it's too high, or if it's too tight, you can't really utilize it. So important positioning.
Well, the failure has been the guards have been in the house. That's where the trouble has come from here. That's better.
That's in a good position. It's close enough you can get around. If you need to play a run back or tap it in, you can. And it's guarding just the outside edge of the 8-foot. As we compare leads here in this 8th end, overall percentage advantage, the Chinese side.
Well, I think that shows pretty high for Urek. I don't think she's played 78%, but there we are. On the draw shot. So China now very happy to bottle up the middle.
Yeah, 2-point lead. Sometimes you'll see teams bring the second stone into the house in that scenario. There they put the guard. Kind of curled just a little bit and leave opening for this freeze.
The freeze called for by Binya Felcher for lead player. We will see what speed the ice is now on the draw shot freeze to the tee line.
And this is where she's got in trouble, is playing this freeze or the come around shot facing another stone in there.
Yeah, she's played it a little bit wide and up till now anyway, and a little bit heavy. Just bounced off the shot. And this looks like the same again.
And too late. They were trying to maybe go around it, and they just made that decision too late. Had to be anticipating that it might have been heavy and go around. That's part of the communication, making sure that you're letting your skip know has a bit more weight. They could have tried to go maybe back 8, back 12 with that one.
And we didn't really get the speed we were looking for because of the shot being misplayed.
She just hasn't had a feel for that top 4-foot weight that you need out of your lead. Now trying to play the hit. And again, hoping to stick around, but it rolls just out of the rings.
Not too disappointed though, I don't think. So again, we might get a time on this one from Kaufman. freeze the shot. Here she goes. You can see how little weight they're playing because the ice is so fast. We have a speed from our own rock clock here, 15.41.
Plus or minus a 10th or 100th of that.
Our other commentator this week is Anne Swisselm from United States. Well, Anne and Alison, and Anne is kindly providing us rock clock information on the bench here.
Putting her to work while she's not calling the game.
That's right.
Compare the seconds there, you see advantage, but low draw numbers for the Chinese second. And not much to choose between those two.
Well, 15.41 is fast. Oh, lovely shot.
It's hard, you say throw it to your sweeper. It's hard to convince yourself to come out of the hack that slow and throw that to your sweepers. But you have to let them use it. Use them. You'll get a more consistent curl if you're letting them sweep it and drag it where you want it, as opposed to just, okay, hopefully this will slow down and stop where I want it.
Yeah, that's right. And you can see not too many people in this afternoon. Reason being, Canada are not playing in this draw. So they'll be back tonight, along with the crowd, I'm sure.
And Canada will be on against this Switzerland team. Canada was one of 2 games this morning. They beat the Czech Republic, and it was Denmark knocking off Scotland.
Wow.
All over the guard is Kaufman.
So, Franziska Kaufman entering the guard away from the centre line. China, having engineered this advantageous position in the centre of the house, happy now just to guard up. And that's another nice shot from them. Good line. Nice weight, nice and tight to the house. You don't want to be too short because it can cause you some problems. I like that shot.
I like coming real tight. It really makes it tough to play that draw around it too. It forces them into playing the run.
It does.
The red one into it, and I don't think that yellow one will spin out.
Well, I think it might, but well, could end up lying 3 reds at the end of this. 2 reds at the end of this, I beg your pardon. 2 red Chinese stones, possibly. Again, not playing that big a weight here. Just a little bit high at the moment. It needs to curl for them.
It just goes over the top of it, and the shooter roll onto the rings. It will not. Looks like it stays out.
Actually, I think Binya Felcher was calling for that shot rather than the raise.
Just trying to roll it on, but it doesn't roll on.
Hoping to get a second counter just on the edge there, and it just didn't quite work for her. But she didn't want to disturb those stones in the middle. And the Chinese, I think, recognized what was going on there, and they're trying to guard this in a slightly different place.
I'll just keep putting it in a different spot, see what they'll get out of Switzerland. So we see the comparison at third. Slight advantage for Yang over Shori. Low draws for the Chinese side and low hits for Shori. Well, what's she looking at here? Can she get at the shot stone? Is that the attempt?
I think so. Well, curling now quite nicely. Can she get to the red shot stone?
Well, trying to hit, now get the roll to the side. I'll get in, but still, they lie second and third now. Forces China come after those shot stones, not just throw guards.
Well, it was quite a good shot. It opens the red out and it makes her stone on the top of the 4-foot circle. Makes that yellow stone on the top of the 4-foot circle. Into the second and third shots. Trouble is, the angle means if you did just bump that front red on the extreme left of our picture there, the yellow would go through the back between these two, I think, and I don't think it wouldn't hit either of them. It would just go through. Be quite a nice shot for China if they could do that, but they wouldn't lie second shot, so I think they're going for a play off the stone on the left as we look at it. They can play a hit and a little roll in behind. Danger of that with the roll behind is that it provides backing for that top yellow stone belonging to the Swiss. That's what I don't like about this shot.
Yeah, and have to be careful. The nose leaves a double, so have to be precise where they want to roll with it.
So we're on to skip stones here in the 8th end. China leading 3-1. Oh, and she's played big weight at this. She might be quite happy to hit it and see the shooter run out.
Well, make the hit, roll over,
oh,
and we'll sit right in behind. They'll sit one. But now, as you said, Richard, there is that tap that goes right onto it.
That's the problem with that shot. Yellowstone doesn't have a clear path out the house now. And it could mean here that Felcher will have a draw to get 2, but it will be a really tough draw right to a very, very narrow point of ice.
I think you want to play a little more than just the straight tap freeze. You want to try and push that red one a bit if you can.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
And what that does is it opens up the scoring zone for your last draw.
Yeah, absolutely. And it would open up the hit on this stone on the right where the brush is for them potentially. So this is important. Got to come round, tap the red onto the yellow and move that back red stone right off the button. Well, she's playing big weight here.
Now there's more weight than
more weight than I thought she would play.
Or is she playing the back one? Trying to kick it over.
Oh. Well, that was an ambitious shot, which came off.
Yeah. Well,
but you know what? It's a whole lot nicer result than I was predicting. Oh, great shot. Oh, well played.
Yeah, lots of big weight shots from Benia Felcher in this one. And here it works out again. Able to make that double, push that one out.
Great accuracy there.
Just had to sneak by the top one.
Terrific shot.
And lies 1-2 now.
And she has last stone advantage, Felcher. Great chance to get her 2.
Even if a hit is made, real tough to sit protected. Or you have that red tap again, red-yellow tap.
China now looking for the control weight on this back yellow stone and just rolling in behind to lie first shot. trying to force Felcher to just 1 point. That's a good looking line, I think.
Well, wants to sit there, but will roll out.
Oh no.
Draw now to tie this game up. Good numbers from the skips in this game. Look at those. Had 3 blank ends in the first 5 as well, which definitely the degree of difficulty is a lower on those shots. But a couple of great ones in this end. Nia Felcher set up her 2 right now.
Exactly. So she has to outcount the top red counter of the Chinese there, fully in the white circle, to lie 2 and tie the game up at 3-all. That's the aim here. And we had these 3 very defensive ends in 1, 2 and 4. But the play in the ends where there has been play, especially the back end of the teams, has been of a high quality.
Well, needs the 4-foot to get that second point. Score in the even end, score in end number 8.
Beautiful draw.
Very nice, right to the 4-foot. Felcher, spot on, gets the deuce. And we're all square, 2 ends remaining. 3-3, Switzerland, China, and St. John, Canada. Well, Nia Felcher, 8th end, utilizes that last stone advantage. She is able to draw for her second point, but really all set up by a great double she made on her first, moving them out. China did what they could in CHN-SUI, but still allows this perfect draw right in there, and momentum now in the favor of Switzerland. They've utilized the hammer. Now, real important, 9th end. China would love a blank. It's all about trying to position into the 10th end, keep the hammer, but Switzerland would really like to see a centerline guard put up and force China's hand. Well, Christine Jurek looking for the centerline guard, and it'll go out in front. He's an industrial designer, lives in Lucerne. And here they decide they're going to draw away, draw to the open side. And we'll see what Switzerland decides. They really don't want to allow China to blank this 9th end.
Well, the last end, where Switzerland had the last stone advantage and the Chinese blocked up the middle in an attempt to steal a point, ended up with them losing 2 points. And so I think they're Definitely going to go back to a little bit more of an open strategy here if they can do that.
Richtung ist gut. Würde noch nicht, glaub. Fest. Achtung. Wohl, zieh fest. Zieh fest. Fest. Zieh. Zieh. Super.
Well, they don't bite into playing the wide stone. They put a second centerline guard out. Really trying to see what China does.
Well, I certainly think that's the right strategy. More guards. They need to go for it here. Try and get a steal.
When team that's going for it right now is Russia, looking to score another deuce. They've been putting on a little bit of a take two with the hammer, get a force clinic against Sweden. Russia, another opportunity, score two, and extend their lead to 7-3 over the reigning European champions, Margareta Sigfridsson. And Anna Sidorova,
Well, here
not
it is.
a high pressure shot. It's an open draw to the 8-foot or better, and have to like that when your team's able to set you up. Draw, they'll take a look to see, and it is 2. So after 8 ends, it's a 4-point lead for Russia, trying to even themselves with Sweden in the standings.
Yeah, interesting stuff. I think coming into this championship, Canada and Sweden hot favourites after playing last year in Riga in Latvia. Canada, Sweden and Scotland, the 3 top teams, and they were outstandingly better than the others. 2 of them are back here, Rachel Homan for Canada and Sigfridsson for Sweden. Scottish team from Aviv Muirhead not here, not allowed to compete in the Scottish Championship this year.
Well, and peels that side stone out. China now will try and get rid of those stones out in front.
So here we go. Trying to take the 2 yellow counters off and take the shooter away.
Well, just gets the 1. So an opportunity for Switzerland get around. A double peel's made. Could have been tough for Switzerland to not allow China to blank the end.
That's right. Still a good shot from the Chinese. Hitting and running.
Well, Benia Felcher trying to do something she hasn't done in international play, and that's beat China in 2 previous international games against the nation of China. She has lost both of them. Well, this one won't get around. It'll be another guard and very close together. You have enough to try and get rid of both of them there, Richard?
Well, they certainly can, I think, but needs to be pretty heavy.
Oh. Trying to play the double peel, spill them out, kick that one off to the side.
Well, pretty good. So, first stone of the 3rd players here in end number 9, and it will be Irene Shuri for Switzerland. Trying to engineer the steal of a point here. The centre is much more open than before. Trying to come around this red stone, but it's wide.
Well, this one needs to stop to stay in, outcount that top one. It's going to slide all the way back and just nibble the rings, but it's going to be shot stone for China.
That was a bad one for SUI. It's neither covered nor lying first shot. So no imminent danger for China really, and they're quite happy just to
using
draw a second stone.
Yeah, after that last peel, it sort of kicked that over as a corner, and they can try and use it, spread the rings. And ideally, going into the end, they were thinking, okay, we can blank the end, try and keep the hammer. But now looking, get two, and you're in a pretty good position as well.
Well, nicely played. The problem with that Felcher's got is you can draw to where she's pointing, but it's not going to be a shot that's going to count as a steal point in the end because it's not close enough to the middle. So I think you really have to draw around that centre stone into the forefoot. So for me, this is not the right shot. What do you think? Here's the clock. 15 point something. That's what we think.
I'd say just a little over 15. SUI sailed her first to the back part of the rings and has a small area trying to freeze to this. Like you said, Richard, I kind of like going to the center, but...
Well, that one didn't curl much. I think she was a bit wide away, but it still didn't curl a lot. 14.7 down that patch, and we're just behind the tee line certainly, so a little more running on it, but...
She could have thrown 15.5 and been to the top of the forefoot with sweeping. They didn't do much to it at all.
No, that's right. Not just getting as much curl as she expected. Chance now for China to take this out and roll in behind, although I don't think they would mind at all if it rolled right out of play. They don't want to leave a shot that Switzerland can lock onto and possibly get a steal of a point. This one's a little bit high. Is she going to get the shot?
Well, she's going to punch it out and will catch it on the back. That's a fortunate break on a shot they were not playing. They were trying to hit that one and not stick on the back as they did.
Well, they now lie 3. Spread all over the house. Not too much opportunity for Felcher to engineer the steal. And again, she's going for this draw to the stone on the tee line over on the left as we look at it from there. And I really think she has to try to draw around the front stone. That's the only way she's going to pick up a steal here. The trouble with this is if she just rubs off the stone, China have the last stone advantage, and it's all looking as if they're going to pick up several shots here unless Felcher can lock this right onto this counter. Oh, that definitely looked a tighter line in a way. Definitely a better line. Must stop though. Has to stop. Oh, good shot. My goodness, Felcher's had to pull out some top quality shots to stick around in this game.
Yeah, that's because it's on the tee line, you're trying to sit at such a small angle and be shot stone.
Well, that was well played. She narrowed the ice there. And of course, you worry a bit that once you've narrowed the ice, you've narrowed it too much and you're going to catch the guard. But she played it to perfection. It's a much tighter line she played than the one that Shori had been throwing down with her previous shot. So
磕一个，磕一的话，就算磕到这儿了，它后头也相关。磕定吧，我就打一个吧。
你能打来啊？能打来你投个色儿。
certainly asking the question for
打定了，你个 double 也行。
Seidu Louis.
磕定了要让投一个再。磕甩过来的话，要是甩不死他就得打。对啊。啊。
What do you reckon? Can she get enough action on this yellow stone to move it out altogether? I don't think so. I think it'll still be in the house when she's finished, but where will it be positioned?
Yeah, I think what they can, with that look there, I don't think there's enough to get to it. I think you're just going to kick it back, back 8 foot at most. She can't throw big weight at it.
但也差不多。
Even if it's important where you hit this one to try and keep it on an angle. You could even just try and play a straight tap on it, get rid of your stone from behind it.
不是，我要是打定在那一块儿，它那黄的。
Well, she's not giving a lot of ice at the other end, which means she is going to play quite a bit of weight at it, I think. And the problem here is that the shooter will run out the house and the one behind that yellow will run out, leaving the yellow still lying there as first shot.
底线你就叫暂停也行，反正有叫暂
That's
停嘛。
Well, timeout has been called.
看见了。
Tan Weidong will come out and talk about this one with the girls on the ice. Now, Richard, you're calling the shot. What do you play here?
就那个后磕一点儿的，1/4。
这球就藏了个4分之一，
Well
其实。
但是我觉得这球崩不出去。
真崩不出去，拿不出去，就底线量给
I don't know. The freeze is not even that bad a shot, is it?
是，现在不是马上要把它出去，我觉得
Just
往那
just freeze right onto it, lock right onto it.
那我要是正常那样，
You have to be confident of your weight and the line to do that.
你要是打不好，它不还是2分3米吗？
But the stone that Felcher played there was such a good one
肯定指定是留下。
that
你现在一个球根本处理不掉
just
那
playing
个
a。freeze onto there would be a good shot. Alternatively, you could draw around the short stone there and lie on the top of the 4 foot. Takes the game to Switzerland. I quite like that shot. Just ignore the stone on the wing. These two.
他得跟你，他跟不上，你这投不了分。你要想打大分，就是你粘磕的，一粘一磕是半个球，做出脚就可以，下把你就可以再往一送的，你就挣这2分。他现在不敢先粘，其实他想从这个旋里，如果没选好，一磕掉，你得2分，明白了吗？
就跟张科来似的，我觉得跟张科来似的。
他角度好，应该保证你第一技能先相关的事。
So I'm just keeping. I'm just holding Luke down here and keeping him quiet so that all our Chinese viewers can listen to what the Chinese team are going to do.
这时候没有就行。然后主要是我先。
Well, this is what we were talking about. Just drawing down and try and just get that red one off the back of the yellow a little bit. Keep the shooter in a good position in front. And if you can, try and just keep that red one still in play and in the rings.
I think that's right. Well, they were lining it up to throw it at some weight there, but fortunately they had second thoughts that that wouldn't really be that good an idea.
底线什么啊？底线还是77、89？
And I think Tom has persuaded them to an alternative shot here. Still discussing it though. I think they're really just discussing the weight and the line. I think they know what shot they want to play. It's just how they're going to do it.
And it was that yellow freeze by Vania Felcher that put them in this little bit of a predicament.
87、90到底线里的，最大就底线，然后
Well, Felcher looking around,
外的。
likes the position she's in now after her first. Before that wasn't so good.
发序不够。
Well, I think she likes it because the danger of losing 3 or 4 shots has been very much reduced. But as to stealing a point, that is still a distant thought, I think. So here we go. Last stone for China in this 9th end.
89放放，先大线。磕甩呢，练够吗？
Needs to curl. It's still needing to curl a bit here to make good contact with the yellow. Well,
just need to curl a bit more and they're pretty good, but does get that yellow off there a little bit more accessible depending on what Switzerland does.
That's still a good shot there. You know, you've held both your reds there. You've eased the yellow into a position where you could perhaps tap it. And Felcher now, she's got to take that red out and try and roll behind the... Yeah, exactly. They pointed it out. Take that red and roll in behind the cover onto the 4-foot circle and make China draw for a single point with the last stone. That's her aim here.
The only thing they can't do is try and be too cute with this to try and make the roll that are aggressive that you end up rolling out.
Yes, to certainly not do that.
But hit lie 2, the important part now. Felcher, who's been good in this game so far. Her final shot of the 9th end.
Oh, this looks quite wide. It has to curl a bit.
All rolls over. Did they now set up a chance at the double? I think she realizes it now. If you catch this just a hair high, I think you can catch it over the top of that red.
For 3 or 4. Well, I don't think that's what Felcher was trying to do there at all. I think she was wide and she wanted to catch the other side of the yellow stone and roll behind the cover onto the blue 4-foot circle. And they saw that wasn't going to happen and shouted to try and get a result over on the edge there. So
and here's the result of this one. They got on the sweeping. They were trying to go the other way. Instead, they roll just to the side of it, touch it. Maybe even trying to make that double at the back to eliminate it.
Well, there's a definite chance of 2 here, or possibly 3 if you miss the stone on the red on the extreme left there. But the shooter, I think, will perhaps spill out.
There's a look.
You could maybe get 4. What do you think?
I think 4 is a possibility. Just a hair high on that, meaning just a little bit to the center line side of nose hit. This one has a long way to go to make contact.
Uh-oh.
And will flash it all together and give up a steal of 2. A possible 6-point swing there. Chance for 4 and gives up the steal of 2. So Switzerland dodges a bullet and a big one there as they now take a 5-3 lead to the 10th end.
My goodness me, she's played so well up to this point, and then to play a shot like that is heartbreaking, really. But you know, she came tearing down the ice and just rushed it a bit, and that's what happens with not just the experience of some of the teams that are here. The Chinese team are young and new to all of this, and she just rushed her shot. So here we see her play the shot again, and she just edged it out as she released. She's waiting for it to draw, and now she's realized, oh no, disaster.
She knew it early there with
yeah.
that look. And with that weight, it's not coming back. That little set out, the difference, and that's a steal of 2. So that back-to-back twos by Switzerland. Benia Felcher earned the eighth end deuce and got a mistake. Sedia Louis would like to have that last rock back, the ninth end. Could have been a different story coming to this 10th. Now they have work to do, try and get their deuce to tie things up.
Well, I feel quite sorry for Chinese, I'm afraid. After that, they've played such a good game up to this point. But it just goes to show Felcher's been on their heels the whole time. She's been trailing and struggling. The team have been struggling. She's really helped them out. She's rescued them, really. And she played a great first shot there. That's what set it up.
Well, start with that stone just into the top part of the rings. And as that one comes in, we have our first final on the board. The USA defeats Germany 6-5.
Well, the Germans came back there from 6-2 to get back to 6-5.
Well, and the US with that victory, 2-0. They'll take on Denmark tonight, and then they get Sweden tomorrow morning. So, big stretch for them. Try and get off to a good start.
So, can China engineer a 2 out of this end, which they need to tie the game up and send it into extra time?
Well, they put the corner guard up to try and generate some offense. Christine Jurek. I think try and play a little tap with the first stone just into the top of the 12-foot. Oh, this one drawing in, and it's going to go to the top of the 4-foot. Actually helps China, gives them something to use to go behind.
Yep, that's not a good shot.
A quick update, keep you all informed with the Sweden-Russia game going on. Russia controlling this one up 7-3, has one buried, top of the 4-foot. Maria Pritz needs a big draw to get one and make it a 3-point game. See that one in your picture now, side of the 4-foot, maybe touching the side of the button. And Maria Pritz, early steal in this game by Russia, set them off to a good start. Pritz makes the draw to the button, gets one, but they're gonna have to steal 3 in the 10th end of that game. Well, they use that one to their advantage, and now Switzerland's got to peel the guard and going to be chasing. China's in position. They can get their 2 now.
Well, all game long, the boot has been on the other foot. Switzerland were chasing the game the whole way through here until the 10th end. Now it's turned completely the opposite way. And really, it's just, you know, down to an experience. These Chinese women have played the shots very nicely. Make a lot of shots, good delivery, nice control of weight. Good, pretty good tactics. Maybe a little bit defensive, but you know, just one really quite bad shot, and it's cost them dearly.
Well, these guards important, trying to protect Stone in the 8-foot, second shot.
Yeah, they're still, despite what happened at the last end, they're concentrating and they're trying to make something out of this game coming down the last end here, last regulation end. So Felcher asking for this stone to be removed. Franziska Kaufmann. A hit and run being called for, which she makes. Good shot.
Yeah, just keeping it clean, forcing them to put up the guard, and if they make a mistake, then they can go after the one in the rings.
And I think China will just keep guarding this shot for the time being anyway. They've guarded well in this game when they've had to as well. They've got the line nicely, almost every time. And the weight.
Well, and it was a long way back, but they were not going to be able to do it. Sweden gets run out of stones in the 10th end, and Russia moves to 2-1. Knocks off Sweden. They're no longer unbeaten. And Russia, good start to the event after a loss to Canada early. 2 wins today. They sit atop the standings now with Sweden at 2-1. While the guard by China slides into the rings, but it's in an interesting position. The double jams onto their stone. The nose double, I should say.
Yeah, one of the doubles. Yeah, you can certainly hit this in a way where they both go, and that's what she needs to do here, I think. You can't. Or hit the front one off and roll out. That's not that bad a shot.
Nee, het is toch best zo.
Tanny, gauw? Ja. Wat? Goed zo. Ja, ja. Dat lukt niet alleen niet.
I don't think Felcher would worry too much, even if the back yellow stone of the Swiss was lost with this shot and it was removed from play. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Well, first to third stones for Irene Shorey. Will hit, roll in with it. Still second shot belongs to China. They don't make the double.
It's not a bad result, but the danger is with too many stones in play, it does give an opportunity for China to still possibly make their 2. Doesn't look like it at the moment, but still third stones to go.
Problem is they're worried about those stones in the top of the 12 foot. They're in a useful position for Switzerland.
So there's no immediate danger with the time clocked here. Both teams have enough time to get finished okay.
Yeah, and both have used their timeout. Shouldn't be an issue here in this 10th end.
So China going for the clearance.
Well, make the double, roll through, and so they lie second and third. Now every shot Switzerland makes is going to have to be precise. Don't want to leave a double, allow for 2 back.
Well, that was a good shot there because there was a big danger of catching one or other of these on the stone in the house. Turns out all right. So Irene Shuri just being asked for the takeout on this Chinese stone. Straightforward shot for her. Quite like to, I think she'd quite like to keep the shooter here and roll into the centre.
I'll try and roll just behind, and
good shot.
We'll go top of the button. Very nice. I think every time we've seen Irene after a shot, she's been smiling a lot. Even on some mistakes they've made, she always seems to have a smile out there.
这点小，这边料大。不用再收了吧？但是力量大，力量大。
底线吗？底线。擦过来后头这个呢？擦过来后头这个。往内擦。往。擦一擦。
Trying to play at that back one. Again, a little hit and a flop.
Well, not bad, but I think they're going to need a mistake out of Felcher to get their two.
Well, and by hitting that one, even if a rollout by Felcher, they're going to have to play that straight back and hit it perfectly.
I think important for Felcher to retain the shooter here, and if possible, lie 1 and 2. But certainly lie in the house. So we're down to skip stones in the 10th end. Switzerland leading by 2, 5 shots to 3, and the last stone advantage is China's. China playing the red stone. So Felcher lies 1 on the button.
94%. Rolled the wrong way in the last end, but got a break back. Here needs another perfect hit and stick. Well, little roll in, and we'll sit 1-2.
Not bad. Certainly. Giving China plenty to think about.
Well, we are now officially the last game out on the ice as Korea defeats Latvia 7-4 is the final. So Korea moves to 2-1. Latvia drops to 1-2. Here on sheet B. Last game, which will finish up session 4. Middle draw of 3 today. Said Louis, first of skip stones, needs 2 to tie.
Well, she can't afford to be short here. She's got to be in the house and counting.
Well, this one's going to not get past their own. They're going to have to try and tap it up. And they'll sit 3rd and 4th. Makes it, that last shot, even more difficult.
Well, it's certainly going to be extremely difficult to take these 2 yellow stones out.
So Gardner, a 3rd one in the rings.
Einfach direkt vorne dran, oder?
We've got Richard Harding stumped here, folks.
I would half check the front stone, stopping the raise of any sort. What would you do?
That's my first thought, is that those two, you're not playing any hit of any sort. You're lying 1-2.
Yeah.
To me, you draw wide side of the 8 foot, even to the edge of the 4 foot to lie. Try and lie 3.
Yeah, even supposing you made no shot here at all, and it lay like this with the Swiss, with the Chinese to play their last stone, I don't see how they can get both the yellow stones out of play.
Yeah, they're in tough angles in order to get both of them out. Guard makes it that much more difficult.
That's the theory in my view.
And here you don't want to perfectly guard that first one. You want to stagger the angle a bit so that they have to try and cross it a bit.
Yeah, you half check it. I think so.
The half check guard is what we're looking for here.
So there we are, we're all in agreement with that. Canada and Scotland agree.
And day 2, Richard and Luke are agreeing.
Oh goodness, what next? Now she just has to play it. I think it's a good looking shot at this stage.
Yeah, just have a curl a little bit more, just that.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
Guard most of it, so you have to play the yellow if you're going to play the raise at all, and obviously.
Is there a chance to come down there and shoot the 2 out?
What you can. Well, where the broom is about as much as you can see.
Yes. I think the yellow stone that you can see a little bit of will lock onto the other one. There's no way it was going to go out.
Well, you got to be perfect. First, you got to get past those 2 of your own. Zeddy Louis flashed a double in the 9th end, which allowed the steal of 2. The key score of the game. And the difference right now.
Well, she's going to get past. If she does, she's got plenty of weight.
Well, get by, make the double, spin it out, and as good as she could have done on that one, and it's not to be had.
No, it was always going to lock on that back stone, and it stays for second shot. So Switzerland win. Tough game. 6 shots to 3. Switzerland defeat China. So they go on to 2 win count after this 4th round. 4th session anyway. Celebrating Swiss. So all games completed at the end of the 4th draw. And we will see the highlights of the second half of this game just in a moment. And then we'll hear Luke speaking with the victorious Swiss skip, Binia Felcher. So, into the 7th end, and Switzerland lying 3. And Sidya Liu having to make this draw shot to the backing of the Swiss stones for a point, which she makes beautifully. China still in control. And in the 8th end, Felcher a chance to make a last stone draw here for 2. And she plays a beauty right into the tee line. 2 shots for Switzerland to tie the game up at 3-3. At that point in a 3-1 deficit. And end number 9 was a flash from Chinese skip. So 2 behind, she has to try and make 2 here. She has a good attempt at it, but it's not to be. The Yellowstone jams and rolls out. Switzerland pick up a single point and they win the game 6 shots to 3 to remain undefeated after the 4th round. So the other matches in this draw were on sheet A, Russia defeating silver medalists from the Olympics, Sweden 7-4, US just getting past Germany 6-5, and Latvia going down to Korea to give the Koreans a second win on sheet D. And that gives us our standings after the 4th session. Still undefeated, 3 teams, Canada, Switzerland and the US on 2-0, Korea, Russia and Sweden all on a 2-1 count. And on the bottom half of the table, 1-1 for Denmark, 1-2 for Latvia, and still winless China, Czech Republic, Germany and also Scotland, 0-2.
Talk about strategy. You were a little defensive early in that game.
Yes, that's a little our strategy, and China plays the same, and that's because it was a tough game.
The getting a deuce in the 8th end to tie up the game, that was really important for you, wasn't it?
Yes, that was really important. When we don't make, maybe it was not good to make a win.
And then getting the steal in the 9th end where she misses the shot, what were you thinking?
It was lucky for us, yes.
Well, good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you. Thanks.